What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna take a look at this 2022 Dodge Challenger RT. Big shout out and thank you to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this new Challenger for today's video. Definitely take a look at their website, link down below. And the model that we're looking at today is the RT Blacktop, finished off in smoke show and has an MSRP at $44,400. Underneath the hood of the Dodge Challenger RT, you're going to find a naturally aspirated 5.7 liter Hemi V8. This 8-cylinder pumps out 367 horsepower with 410 pound-feet of torque. It's paired to a 6-speed Tremec manual transmission and sends all the power to the rear wheels. And with a curb weight around 4,157 pounds, you're looking at 0 to 60 time in 5 seconds with 0 to 100 in 12.2, and it'll top out around 141 miles per hour. It also runs on an 18.5 gallon fuel tank, and you're looking at 15 miles per gallon in the city with 23 out on the highway. The overall length is 197.9 inches with wheelbase at 116.2. Overall height is 57.7 and width is 75.7 inches. And then now moving on to the exterior styling with the 2022 Dodge Challenger. This certainly is a retro looking muscle car with a lot of very bold lines. Has a very squared off front end, and you can see these round design for all the headlights. Have a very cool look with DRLs and LED. Then you can see how everything is all blacked out for this upper grille. We get Challenger in the old school script with really cool gloss black trim pieces. RT is even blacked out over on the far side, and I really like how the upper grille looks like the classic cars. Down below we have a massive grille to allow a ton of cooling to the radiators. Then you also get LED fog lights in the farthest corners. This gets a really large black plastic splitter up front to give it a really aggressive design and help channel that airflow. You can really see how everything comes together. As we move our way to the hood, there's a functional intake duct right on top that allows cool air to enter into the engine bay. You also can see the raised up portion right in the center and then really sharp lines going towards the windshield. I like just how flat and large the hood is. It gives that muscle car design. And then moving to the side profile, we get a set of 20-inch wheels in all 4 corners, finished in a gunmetal gray. They're a split 5-spoke design. Then you can see a really sharp body line going around this front fender. You can also see the Hemi badge on the rear part of the fender and a really sharp line cutting its way all the way through the side profile. I really like just how flat all the body panels are on the side of this Challenger. It does give it that nice retro look. We also get a set of body colored mirrors and then body colored door handles and black trim all around the windows. The body color goes all the way up to the roof with a shark fin antenna, and the side profile of this car has that classic muscle car profile. You can see just how nice everything comes together. It's a pretty large car, especially for being just a 2-doored, but it does give it that nice design. As we make our way to the rear end, you can see how the rear fenders bulge outwards just a little bit to really give it a wider appearance. And then in back, we get a satin black rear spoiler mounted along the trunk. Has a really good look with your backup camera right in the center. We get LED taillights in back with the Dodge name written out. I really like all the gloss black. And you can see really sharp line going across this rear bumper. There's parking sensors in back as well. Plastic black along the rear diffuser that match that front diffuser. Then we get dual exhaust finished off with polished tips. So there's a good look at the exterior with the 2022 Dodge Challenger RT. Really nice to see when equipped with the manual transmission, and I especially love the smoke show paint. It looks super cool on this car. We have Dodge's key fob, pretty basic. You got a trunk button, lock and unlock. If I go ahead and keep it locked, it does have a smart key. And you can just grab the door handle, it'll unlock it, grab it again, and then we can check out this interior. This particular spec gets a black fabric interior. You're also going to see a little bit of gray accents all throughout. We get a full black door panel. You can see the black fabric along the insert, and then some smooth black leather for this armrest. There is some good padding in it. We also have the grab handle, window controls and mirror controls, then a large release handle down below that. We get a little bit of storage up front and in back. Then moving inside, we get a few power controls on the seat for forwards and back. You also get the lumbar and a recline lever in back. You can see all the fabric with some contrast stitching, a really cool design in the center for the insert, and then a really large set of bolsters. You can see how the backs are also pretty large. Moving our way up, you get a little bit of stitching along the headrest. And then spinning around, we get a black leather steering wheel perforated on the sides, and then your Dodge logo right in the center. And then now inside the Charger, keeping my foot on the clutch, we can go ahead and fire it up. Taking a look at the gauge cluster now, we get a digital screen right in the center, and then an analog speedometer on the right and analog tachometer on the left. To control the center screen, we have a pad on the left side of the steering wheel. Right now we have our digital speedometer. If I scroll down, then you can go left and right into all the different settings. You can see all sorts of different information for the vehicle, battery, oil, different things like that. We can also scroll down to see performance, like a 0 to 60, you have 0 to 100, and a few more items that will pop up, all for performance. We have fuel economy information, trip information, all your audio will come up as well as any messages in the car. Then you can get back to the main screen. Taking a look at the steering wheel, we also get some Bluetooth and audio controls on the left side, and then cruise control settings are on the right. We also get all the wiper blades over on the left side of the steering wheel. To the left of the actual wheel, we have more headlight controls, along with interior dimming as well as the trunk, and then one of the air vents on the far left side, and then black running across the entire dashboard. You can see how we have Challenger and another air vent on the far right side. And then moving to the center now, we get the full 8.4-inch touchscreen display. In the center screen, you can scroll through all the different apps. We have all sorts of different things that will come up. We have performance pages as well. And then in this screen, you can see gauges for your power. You have more things you can add, G-force. You have all your timers that will come up as well. Different gauges to view temperatures, a massive G-force meter. You can also view the engine, and then we even get a dyno. So really cool the way everything is laid out. We also have media icon on the far left. Climate controls will come up, super simple the way everything is laid out. We have more controls in the center for heated seats and steering wheel. We have all those apps right in the center, navigation system, phone integration, and then we get all these settings. And if I go ahead and push the clutch in and go into reverse, the backup camera is going to pop up. You do get two guidelines in the center. Parking sensors will come up in the center of the gauges. It's not the most HD display, however, it's better than nothing. And going back into neutral. Underneath that, we have a few more controls. We have your sport mode icon. You'll even get a checkered flag up on the center. Then we have the super track pack. When you tap this button, it gets into this screen, which you also have access just tapping the apps icon. But we have the different drive modes. Your line lock you can set up for drag racing. Launch control, you can easily adjust what RPM you'd like to do that at. Then we have the drive mode setup, sport mode setup, you can adjust everything. So really interesting how everything is laid out. You get all sorts of information. We also have more controls for traction control, volume, browsing, and tuning, and then physical climate controls down below. Fan speed is in the center. It will of course come up on the screen when you adjust anything. Same with the temperature. So I like how there's that nice integration. Then we get this really cool plastic aluminum color trim, massive shift boot with a nice round shift knob. Super nice to see that. We have two of the cup holders, then a nice leather armrest with some stitching. Opening this up, we get a pretty good amount of storage along with some USB ports. And if we take a look at the glove box, opens up and you get a lot of space in there. So then one last look at the Challenger's interior. This is getting a little old. It's been around for quite some time now. However, it is a nice comfortable place to be, and you pretty much get everything that you're gonna need in this car. Then up top, we do get a sunglass holder, dome lights, and then your mirror. The Dodge Challenger is also a 5-seater car. If we grab this lever, we can get the front seat out of the way for better access. You can see the seats back here, finished all in the same fabric material. You even get a center armrest that will pull down. So then sitting in the back of the Challenger, this is an impressive two-door car. It is probably the only two-door car that you can actually fit here as a grown adult. I'm 5'11", and if we even pull the seat back to my height, I have plenty of space in here. My head is just barely touching the ceiling, and I still get just a little bit of knee room. So it's certainly usable for a full-grown adult. I like that aspect. We do get two air vents down below, some speakers, and then you even get some hooks up here as well, and then fixed headrests. Moving to the trunk space, you can use the button on the key fob, the one in the interior, or there also is one right in the back. Just tapping that, we can lift this up. You can see there is a ton of storage space in the back of a Challenger. This is absolutely a massive two-door car. Could pretty much fit anything that you're gonna need in here. Very squared off, very tall ceiling as well. And then after manually folding down the rear seats, you can see just how much more storage space you're gonna get in the back of a Dodge Challenger. They fold nearly flat, and you get a pretty large opening into the back to make this an extremely practical car. All right, guys, we are setting off now in the Charger RT with that 6-speed. So it's certainly cool to drive this car in a manual. I've never actually been in the RT with that 6-speed manual transmission. It certainly adds a lot of fun factor to this car. Now, as far as straight line acceleration, this isn't the fastest car. You know, the Scat Pack is certainly a much more balanced car as far as the performance, and of course a Hellcat is really what you want if you want fast. So doing another acceleration now in sport mode just sharpens things up just a little bit. It's not bad. I will say I think the manual makes this car feel a lot quicker than the automatic. The automatic, it feels a little on the sluggish side. This car isn't much quicker than a Toyota Camry, so it's not really anything crazy, blow your socks off. However, if you're just getting into the sports car world, you know, maybe you've never had something along the performance line, this is a great way to go because you get the V8. It sounds awesome in here, even for being stock. And of course, with the manual, you can get that fun factor. It's not going to be too fast of a car. We're going to be breaking speed limits, breaking the law, and doing all sorts of crazy things, but it at least gives you kind of that good entry-level way to get into something on that performance line. It is pretty cool with the stick shift. Throttle response is really sharp. I mean, we get up to 60 miles an hour without even stressing the engine. Obviously, we're not doing anything too crazy being a brand new car, but it's a pretty nicely balanced, I'd say, entry-level performance car. It has a really good balance. When you are on the inside, it's a comfortable car to be in too. I like how, while this is a kind of an old car, you know, the interior looks a little dated, graphics aren't too amazing, it's actually pretty comfortable. You know, we're going on a pretty bumpy road in normal mode, and it's smooth, it's quiet. You have a really good view around, really large windshield. You can see the bump in the hood, which looks really nice. Mirrors all do a great job, and visibility's not that bad. The C-pillar is a little on the bulky side, so that's the worst thing you're gonna see. However, with your mirrors adjusted properly, honestly not too bad to daily drive this car. Going around a sharper turn. Yeah, the manual really wakes up the car. It's just a fun factor. The shifter itself is actually really notchy, super easy to find the gear, and the clutch pedal doesn't really weigh much, so it's a pretty easy car to maybe even learn how to drive stick on. It's kind of a nice balance, and even through some twisty turns like that, while it's a very heavy two-door car, probably the heaviest one out there, it doesn't handle the worst. You know, it's decently flat. You're not going to take this to super tight, twisty mountain roads or tracks or stuff like that, but if you just want to have just kind of normal fun in a car, you know, I think you can get a lot out of this. All right, so flipping around to my perspective, you gotta love a 6-speed. So driving in this car, I think the manual really does make it come alive. When I've driven the basic, the automatic RTs, they're a little underwhelming. You know, if you're not used to driving sports cars, they might be fun, fast, whatever. If you're used to anything faster, which is a lot of sports cars, you're gonna be pretty underwhelmed. The stick shift really makes this come alive to where it's like that fun entry-level muscle car. You know, the Dodge Challenger is kind of the muscle car of the three that really is back to its roots with just the raw, big stuff that you like in muscle cars. You know, not everyone likes the Camaro and Mustang, how they are a little bit more sports car focused these days. People like how the Challenger is still that big motor in a big car. It sounds really good, and it feels so much quicker now that we have the manual. There's more control, there's more engagement with the car. I like that aspect a lot. And when we are in a quick sweeper, it's not bad taking the turns. Like I said, it's just, you can have fun in this car, which I didn't expect to say that. And I think the manual kind of is the reason why this is a lot more fun than the auto. Now, of course, if you're daily driving it, stuff like that, traffic, I can see getting the automatic. However, I think the Scat Pack is just such a better engine. You get a lot more power, and with the automatic, it actually like gets up and goes. The automatic on this just makes it feel a little on the sluggish side. With that said though, drawbacks of this car, certainly the interior. I think the exterior still looks amazing. I think it just has that really good classic retro look, and it just has that great design that I think is aging really well. And then the interior, it kind of falls out. It's just old. The graphics aren't that great. It's just kind of basic, and I think the cloth seats kind of also make it look a little bit more dated than the leather interior. But overall, I do like how even though this is a dated interior, a dated car in general, you still get everything that you need, especially with the performance pages with all these things that pop up. I think it's a really cool touch to just be able to monitor this car, adjust launch control, all that stuff. And then you have navigation, so it's a normal car in the sense that you can daily this all day long. You get all the technology. Obviously, you have all the space you're gonna need, but then you still get that fun factor without breaking the bank. 44 grand in today's market is pretty much the average price of a new car. So this is an average car, and I feel like you get pretty good blend of everything for that price point, and for the fact that this is the average. This is kind of what you would expect to pay for a new car. You get the fun factor with the manual, you get practicality, you get decent gas mileage for being a big V8, you get the V8 sound. And something about the 6-speed, the gear ratios just seem a little bit better than in the 8-speed automatic, to where I feel like you can use the motor a little bit better. Turning radius isn't even that bad for being such a big car. I'm definitely having a lot more fun in this than I expected. But this one, just that good entry-level muscle car, kind of a good fun blend of everything, and I don't think you can really go wrong if you're looking for a brand new car like this. It has a lot to offer for sure, and I sound like a broken record, but the manual completely makes this car a complete 180 comparing it to the automatic. There's that fun factor because you get the driver engagement, and I'm really enjoying that. With that said, I think that is then it for this 2022 Dodge Challenger RT with the Tremec 6-speed manual. Pretty sweet car for sure. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content. And then a big shout out and thank you again to Feeney, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram for providing this muscle car for today's video. Take a look at their website, link down below. I'll see you guys in the next video.